Hi all. Today in this session we will start learning how to use JSON file as an input. So to read the JSON file, first of all we need to create the metadata for it. Okay. So before that we should have a source file for that. So let me show you how the source file is. This is a source file which is in JSON format. Here it contains the details of movie, that is which type of movie it is, what is its name, and further detail for that movie, that is a release, a year, a rating, and the actors and actress that we have. So this contains, so basically we have two records here. One record is this one and the other record is this one. So basically two records here. This is a sample file. So let's see how we can consume this particular file in our Talend. So for this, first of all, what we need to do, we need to create the metadata for it. So to create the metadata, what we need to do inside repository, we have metadata, and the way we did for tFileInput delimited by creating a schema here. Here in this case, we need to go to file JSON under metadata. So under file JSON, just right click on it, you will get create a JSON schema. So if you left click on create JSON schema, provide a proper name like suppose say movie, then you can provide the purpose and the description, but that is not mandatory. And you can also mention what is a version here. So you can, if already a file is present and you are trying to modify it, so you can increase the version. So this is the minor version and this is the major version. So if you click on m, small m, that is a lowercase m, you can see currently it is 0.2, 0.2, it will become 0.3. And if it is a major version, so you can click on uppercase m, that is a capital M. So if you click on uppercase M, so you can see now the version got 1.0. If you again click it, it will become 2.0. Now, if we have a lower version for it, minor version, then you can click on this lowercase m, that is small m, then 2.1, 2.2. Okay. So after this, after providing the name, let's click on next. Then as we are doing it for this input JSON, so let's select that input JSON option here, and let's go to next. Select JSON path, read by JSON path, and then browse the actual path where that JSON is placed. Let's browse it. This is my file, JSON file. Now you can see what is the schema here. So it will provide all those things. If you want to expand it, you can expand and see what is its inner part. Okay, and here you can provide the limit. So if you want to limit your hierarchy depth, so you can mention it till what depth you want to come inside in this hierarchy. So if you provide 0, that means it will drill down. It doesn't have any limit. It will drill down to the last depth of the hierarchy. Then click on next. So here you can see there are multiple windows here. One is a source schema, which says what is a schema name from the source. This is my target schema section. So in this target schema section, we have two things: path loop expression and field to extract. So path loop expression, we need to select this movie part. You can select based on whatever is your requirement, but as all my data is inside this movie part, so I will select this movie part because I want to iterate, I want to loop this particular drill down into it. As you can see, my data is having there are two records for this movie, so I want to iterate this movie multiple times, so I will select movie here. under absolute path expression. So how you will do it? Just select this, left click this movie and drag it to absolute path expression. So you can see arrow is there, yellow arrow. Then what all columns you want to extract and show to your output, you need to uh, drill, you need to drag those fields to this field to extract section. So let's drag it, type. So you can see once you drag it, a arrow gets popped up here, and what is the actual column that you have pulled and what is the column name that is going to be displayed in your output, in your output schema, that is mentioned here, type. Now suppose I am dragging name also. Yeah, let me drag this release. So I can, what I can do, I can also rename this particular column, like release. I can make it as release here. Okay, so let me if I want to see how the output data will be coming, so I can, after I do this mapping, I can click on refresh preview. So you can see I have type, name, and release year. I have already renamed it a release year, a release to release year. So that's why it is coming it as a release year. Okay. Now suppose this particular thing has multiple records, inner records in it. So let me drag this particular column here. Instead of start one, start two, start three, let me drag the entire thing. Let me refresh the preview and let's see how the data is coming. So you can see I have type, name, release year, and starting. And under starting, I have all the values under that starting in one particular thing. So if I want to split it, what I can do, let me remove this particular column. I can drag this start one, start two, and start three. Okay. And I can always realign them by using this upper and down arrow. Okay, now let me refresh and refresh the preview. So here you can see the name of the movie, that is Badhai Ho, that is a Bollywood movie, and the year of release, and the uh, actors and actresses that we have in them coming in different columns. And Tumbad, which is one of the which is one of the most good movie, one of the best movie in Bollywood that Bollywood has released. So that is Tumbad, and the actor and actress, those are present here. But in the start three, I don't have any data. So why I don't have any data? If I see the data in my file, so in the first movie, that is Badhai Ho, I have three actor and actress details under start, and then under Tumbad, I have provided only two. So that's why the third one, the start three doesn't have any. Start 3 doesn't have any data in it. So let me click on next. Here you can provide the appropriate metadata name, like I'll make it as JSON underscore metadata. And here you can see all the columns and its corresponding data type. And this shows are those columns nullable or not, and what is the length of that particular column, and what is its corresponding precision. So if it is if it is decimal, then we will have some precision here, else it will be 0 by default. And if you want to increase the length, that also we can do it by clicking on this and changing it. Now I am almost done with my creating the metadata. So let me click on finish. Once you click on finish, let's expand it. You can see this movie metadata got created, and inside this there are 6 columns. Okay, now I need to use this particular column here. So what I can do, I can use the input file is tFileInputJSON, that you will be getting under in palette input tFileInputJSON. I can drag it. So let me set the properties here for tFileInputJSON. So I have already created the metadata. So what I can do, I can just click on this property type as a repository, and I can import that particular JSON file, that metadata. Now you can see rest all things are already populated. It has the JSON read by JSON path, what is the actual file, and all these were automatically populated as you are pulling it from that metadata part. And the die on error means if there is any error in the file, then it will lead to failure, else it will proceed with a message. So then let me use tlogro, and let me connect it. Now the job is run. Now the job is done. Let me select it as tabular format. Now let's run it. Now you can see my 2 records from that JSON file was read, and I can see the 2 records in a tabular format. So now suppose say I want to, instead of putting it into tlog row, let me put it into the output file, that is t file output delimited. You can see it already came here. Let me remove this tlog row. Let me connect this tlog tFileInputJSON to the output. Let's set the properties. Let me have the copy the file name. Let me put this file name here. Okay. Let's not change anything else. I'll just include the header here, and you can click on sync columns so that all the columns from my input will be populated to the output. I can see type, name, release year, and all those are there. Now let me run this. Let me first see I don't have any file in this workspace. We are in workspace and it is completely clear now. Let me run this. You can see 2 records were processed, and it got successfully completed. Let me go to that particular directory. You can see it got created. Let me open this file. So you can see there are 2 records with the header. And here this record you can see in the first record you can see after Siva Chidda there is no semicolon because this belongs to start 3 column. But here after Jyoti you can see there is a semicolon here because we don't have any value for start 3. So the start 3 value will be having null. So that's why we have a semicolon which shows that this particular column belongs to start 2. Okay. So in this session we have completed we got to know how to use a JSON file as an input. Hope this session is fruitful for you. Okay, thanks everybody.